All right, guys, day 5 of staying at home. Hope you guys are holding up. I'm praying for you guys. Hope you're continuing to pray for me. We're studying through the book of Philippians and seeing how Paul responds to being under house arrest, which is how we kind of feel about ourselves. And he starts off with this prayer for the people that he's writing to in Philippi, and he's been focusing on Christ and trying to put everything in his life and in the Philippians' life in the context of Christ. And so today he's going to continue to encourage Philippi to do this. He's going to continue to encourage them to put Christ first and to let that affect the way that we live. And I want to make sure that we remember, Paul's the one in quarantine here. He's the one in house arrest. But he's writing to the church. And I don't want us to forget that even though we're stuck at home and we're not able to be out and be together, that we are still the church. So we got to remember that as we continue to read through Philippians. Let's go ahead and we're going to start in chapter 2. Just read verses 1 through 4 today.
So if there is any encouragement in Christ, any comfort from love, any participation in the Spirit, any affection and sympathy, complete my joy by being of the same mind, having the same love, being in full accord and of one mind. Do nothing from rivalry or conceit, but in humility count others more significant than yourselves. Let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others.
So Paul here is continuing to encourage the Philippians, and he says that he wants them to be of the same mind and of the same love. We as Christians, this sometimes seems like an impossible task, to have the same mind as the people that we disagree with in church. But that's what Paul is calling the Philippians to do, is to have the same mind, have the same love for one another, in full accord and of one mind. We've got to make sure that during this crisis and in general, even after it's over, that we have one mind as the church. We have one focus, and that's Christ. And he's going to continue to talk about that in the next couple of verses that we're going to look into tomorrow, specifically looking at Christ. But today I want to focus in on that part where he says, count others as more important than yourselves. This is a verse that we've all heard 100 times, and yet every time we hear it, it doesn't get any easier to do, to count people more important than ourselves. First of all, this is something that you can do right now. Your parents, your brothers and sisters, if you're older, your kids, whoever is reading this, count them as more important than yourself. So unfortunately, part of this is the reason that we're not going to be able to gather here together on Sunday morning. It's a sad thing, and we're going to miss each other and miss the time that we get to have together. But part of that is this idea of counting people as more important than ourselves. We're trying to take care of the people who may be more affected by this than others, and we're trying to put people above ourselves. And we can continue to do that in our day-to-day life, you at home, here at the church, and as we interact with people, and as we do what little we do in the world, we're going to have to make sure that we're putting people higher than ourselves. We're making sure that other people realize and see that they are more important than ourselves. And of course, we got the biggest example of this in Christ. We're going to see tomorrow on Sunday, our one-a-day study is going to be about Christ and about how he embodied this. Let's go do the same.